And now, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. It's time to watch Fred Talks Fighting.
This is Fred Beck from Fred Talks Fighting. Today, I'm very lucky to be joined by, once again, Jono Carroll. Jono, how are you, mate?
I'm good, my brother. Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure.
Did you know what I watched the other, I think it was 2 weeks ago? I watched a UFC 257 Conor Poirier. Now, that was blue and worth the money. You must have watched it, right?
I didn't watch it at the time, but I watched it after, yes.
I mean, I don't care if the next two UFC blue and pay-per-views suck. Well, there's a co-main event, and you're a boxer, so you might not know the names, but it's Dan Hooker, Michael Chandler's first round knockout, and Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier. I'm not going to lie to you, I was rooting for Conor, but I thought it was a great fight. But what did you make of it, since he's a fellow countryman?
To be honest, I like Conor his early days. I really enjoyed all his early days. I loved how he was quite positive. And he was just a typical person from Dublin, you know what I mean? He used to use all the same words I used to use and all of us used to use growing up, you know, like I really was rooting for him and I thought he was great. And then the more he got famous, the more he got bleeding like that superstar, the more of an idiot he started acting, the more of like he started believing in his own hype, you know what I mean? I agree that our minds are all very so sensitive almost. So when you start believing all the bullshit, you can start becoming that arsehole that you're trying to I don't know what's the word that I'm looking for here. The perception of like being the arsehole. He started becoming that person. You know what I mean? He started becoming that like arrogant person and thinking he was better than everyone else. And I don't know. And I started to half not like Conor, to be honest with you. Some of the allegations that I heard about was like, I don't fucking like that person anymore. You know, I just didn't like him. So as a fellow countryman, I'm sad for him that he lost the fight because he had massive things in the pipeline. But at the same time, as a person, I'm fucking delighted he got a hide, and I would have loved to give him that hide myself, to be honest.
Well, let's move on to the boxing now. Obviously, UFC is good, but we'll talk about the boxing. So I'm very jealous now. You're in Spain. You've been in Spain since when have you been in Spain for? Because the weather out there is nice. England, I guess, been raining all day. Supposed to be doing interviews today because there's nothing really else. And you're sitting out there in Spain. How was it in Spain, man?
It's good in Spain, to be honest. The other day I was playing on the beach, like the baby was getting in and out of the water. That's how hot it was. It was nice, mate. The weather over here is beautiful. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. It's just good, mate. You know what I mean? I'm very lucky, very privileged to be out here, and be able to live the type of life that I'm living. You know, I'm blessed, I have to say. But yeah, it's just hard these days. It's like no one knows when the next fight is coming. So I've been in training. Actually, you're going to be the first one to hear this, because I only got the news today. I've been in massive training camp for a fight on the 20th of March, and it literally just got rescheduled. Then today I got the phone call that it's now rescheduled. So I'm like, bit of a melt, but it is what it is. Loads of fights are getting rescheduled, loads of things are getting pushed back, and it's just a madness that we're living in today, mate. We're just going to have to get used to it and keep pushing forward. Like, don't be wrong, I've still done my 2 sessions today, still trained really hard, but it's the future is very uncertain. What's happening right now with all the mad going ons of the world.
And do we have any opponents in the runnings? Any location opponents?
There is one opponent. I don't know his name. I don't really look into the names. I only got the name this morning, and we're trying to confirm the name. 3 people turned the fight down, so we were trying to get everyone and anyone. 3 people turned the fight down. So then eventually someone basically half accepted this morning. So we tried to get a signature sent over, the contract sent over to him today, and then we got news that the fight got pulled by the promoter. So I don't know what the situation is now. Everything's up in the air, to be honest. So there's no point in saying, yeah, we have an opponent and blah blah blah, because we don't know anything yet. You know what I mean? Everything's a bit uncertain, my man.
Sounds a bit tedious, really. And you still training you still training in the Paddle Club gym? Because last time you weren't much of a fan of it, I don't think.
No, I'm still not much of a fan of it, to be honest. Don't be wrong, it's beautiful. It's an outdoor gym, everything else. The weather is good right now. It's not too hot, it's not too cold. So to be quite honest, right now it's brilliant. In the summertime, it's too hot, it's horrible to spar in, and the sun's be beaming in your eyes when you're trying to spar. So like summertime is horrible. And then winter time, come to Christmas Day, we were sparring in the rain at times. So like it's just not suitable. You know what I mean? MTK, Marbella is at the shutting down. So we're all left a little bit, I don't know, it's just mad times that we're going through at the minute. But the best people always pull out of these circumstances in good stead. You know what I mean? I think we will be the same. So we'll see what happens, my man.
Yeah, tough one to stay through. Yeah, sparring in the rain sounds quite a challenge. Anyway, last
It
time.
wasn't. I actually boxed deadly that day. The day that I'm talking about sparring around, I boxed deadly. So I was quite happy with it. I wasn't bouncing around too much. I had to plant the feet and make sure if you're boxing good, you start bouncing around, you can slip in the water. You know what I mean? So no, it was actually a good sparring session.
I'm guessing you'll find it so much easier when you actually fight or when it's dry. And your last fight was at lightweight. You'll be going back. Your fight will be at super featherweight, right?
Yes, of course. Yeah, I was always super featherweight. I only went up to lightweight because the day before the weigh, I actually couldn't make the weight because there was no bats. There was no bats in the hotel that we were all quarantining in. So obviously, a lot of fighters do the water loading and then sit in the bat for ages, a hot bat, and they sweat it out till they make the weight. But unfortunately, there was no bats in that hotel. So yeah, Maxie couldn't make the weight, so I just couldn't accept the fight at lightweight. It is what it is. I don't really care. Like, I fought at lightweight and compete at lightweight in prize fight and a few other occasions, you know. So weight wise, that doesn't really bother me. But my natural weight would be super feather. I think I box better when I'm at super feather. I'm definitely faster and I'm that little bit stronger at super feather, you know. So yeah, I'll always be competing when it's anything worth fighting for. I'll be competing at super feather for sure. And then I might jump up and down depending, you know, because I could probably make feather, to be honest, if I really needed to. If it was for a world title or something, I'd jump to featherweight, no problem.
Well, you are on just one fight back and you'll be in the top 15 again for super featherweight because the losses are lightweight, so won't affect your super featherweight ranking. But
Correct.
I watched the fight back today. I didn't think you lost it. I thought you won it. But there are a number of reasons. I remember you listing a number of reasons why your performance might not have been as good as it usually is. But one that you were saying that you got dragged into a lot of stuff outside the ring because everyone wanted to be involved with you since your win over Scott Quigg. Is that true?
Correct. Yeah, that's very true. I had about 3 different business opportunities come up. I was at meetings day in, day out. Like straight after the gym, people were meeting me in that bloody paddle club because the paddle club was so handy because I had a little restaurant in it as well. So I was like training and then I was like, just happened to be meeting people in the paddle club straight after training. I wasn't eating correct. I wasn't, but that's not even an excuse. I'm not trying to give an excuse for that, but I just had a lot of things going on business wise, and you know what? I was foolish enough to fall for the carrot. You know what I mean? I was like, yeah, let's get all these business things going. Let's start making a fortune and blah blah. But now looking back on it, I'm like, even the way the world is going now with the whole COVID stuff, it's like I'm very half lucky that the Scott, or not the Scott Quick, the Maxi fight actually happened because I pulled out of all those business things, and now looking at the way the world is going with the COVID stuff, them business things wouldn't have ended up working out very much. I would have ended up in paying out a lot of money for stuff that wouldn't have made me money. You know what I mean? Now looking back on it, so I believe the world gives you lots of signs and lots of blessings, and that even though people mightn't see it on the outside, you can only half look back on blessings at times. And I genuinely believe that loss was a good lesson in life because I was thinking I was going to make all this money, but in hindsight, looking back on it now, I would actually have lost a lot of money because none of them business things would have worked out because everything is locked down and shut down, and you know, it would have been bleeding screwed. It would have been, to be honest. So I'm quite lucky that I caught the loss when I did, and then I pulled out those business things because I would have been in debt right now if that had been the case. So fucking lucky.
It's not a great time to start a business right now. And as they say, records are for DJs. And what I noticed about you is you're a very positive thinker. Lots of people now, they don't really think positive and they don't keep their head up high. How come you're such a positive thinker?
Mate, I genuinely believe it's because I've been through so much craziness going on in my teenage years that I just think like a lot of those things that happened to me in my teenage years made me really strong, made me the only way I got through them was being so positive, to be honest. And if I hadn't been positive, I mightn't have been the person that I am today. So me being positive through those circumstances made me a good person that I am today. And then obviously pushing forward now on all the mad stuff that's happening in my life, I don't see what the point is being negative about anything. Like if you start being negative, you only attract more negativity to your life. People don't want to be around you because like who the fuck wants to be around a negative person giving out all the time? You know what I mean? I don't, I know that for sure. You know, so like I just don't see what the value of being negative is. Like I just think being positive, even when shit is crazy and hitting the fan, if you're positive, you will attract good people to you. You will always be able to be around good company and be around happy company. And at the end of the day, like I'm very blessed. I have a beautiful family. I have beautiful people around me. You know, I have people that always keep me on the straight and narrow. I've so many things like that I'm really blessed for. So I'd rather be looking at all the things that I'm thankful for than the things that are negative. You know what I mean? Like the negativity just draws more negativity, and I don't want negative shit in my life. So I just try to be as positive as possible and try to attract that shit because like people people want to be around good people. You know what I mean? And if I'm a nice person, I'm polite to everybody every day. I'm in the gym and I'm polite to people in business and everything else. Then they're only going to want to be around me, and more opportunities will come my way with being positive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good point. Negativity with other people when you drag you down further. You'll still keep up your trash talking though, won't you?
Oh, of course, mate. That ain't negative. That shit is funny. You know what I mean? I enjoy that shit. Like that. For me, I never get personal when I'm trash talking. I never really get personal in the family or anything like that, or too personal what people look like and like that. It's more I just see where people's egos get them in trouble. Or I try to push on people's egos and see where that's at. You know what I mean? Because for me, I try to leave my ego at the door. You know, like when you get in the boxing ring, everything else is just business for me. I just try to enjoy the whole process of the work, and I've had to working extremely hard up to the fight stage, like up to the day I get in that ring. So for me, then playing with people's mindset and seeing where their mind is at, like whether they're a positive person, whether they're a negative person, whether they have true confidence in themselves or whether they doubt themselves a little bit, like that all can be very pushed by a few little questions and a few little poking and prodding. And I love to poke and prod, you know what I mean? So I like to see where people's ego is at. And then in the fight, if I know where people's mindset is at in the fight, I can kind of take advantage of those things. And then every little advantage in a fight definitely works to your advantage. You know what I mean? Looking back on the whole Maxi Hughes thing, I gave him too much respect. If I had to start playing with his mindset, I know for a fact I could have got into his head, but I just thought he was a nice fella. I was thinking, leave all that shit at the door. Like, I don't need to sell this fight. We're not even selling tickets here, so I don't need to sell this shit. But I genuinely believe if that had been in a big crowd or that had been like in a real press conference, I would have got under his skin. I would have just said a few little things that annoy him, seen where he's at, and I would have definitely got under his skin. And I would have made, like, the thing is, I'm a half of a show off when I'm in front of the big crowd. So I know for a fact, like, when I was winning those rounds, I would have been like, oh, you want to see more? I can win this even more clearly. So I just didn't do those things because there was no crowd. There was nothing like giving me that energy. You know what I mean? I feed off positivity. I feed off the negativity of his fans, you know, that gives me energy, that gives me a boost. And I just didn't have any of that. So it wasn't exciting for me. So if I'm not really excited, I don't really care. You know what I mean? I'm like, it is what it is. Just get in here and do a job and go home.
I remember you saying you were walking out for the Scott Quigg fight, and one of the Scott Quigg's fans were like, "You're gonna get knocked out," and you're like, "You'll see, pal." So I guess it drives you
Yeah,
more. Anyway, so speaking of
for
trash
sure.
talking, I was bored the other day and I was going through Instagram and I see your message to Jake Paul. Now that was funny.
Thank you. Oh, sorry you lost me. Sorry, my bad. My phone was going dead. Go on.
What are your thoughts on Jake Paul?
He's just an idiot, like, you know what I mean? He's just a typical bleeding little clown. I just don't like people like that. Like what I was saying about Connor's situation. He's at the letting his Hall of Fame, and it's his brother's fame. It's not even his. I don't even know him really. Like, it's more of his brother's a little bit more famous than he is. And I was just thinking, he's a little muppet. Just the way he disrespected that flag, I felt like digging the head off him. So, like, and then even the fact the way he was disrespecting Connor's missus and all, I was thinking, that fella doesn't know Irish people clearly. I was like, because he'd get hurt on the streets of Ireland for slagging people's misses and all. Like, that gets most people in trouble in Ireland. You know what I mean? So he's crazy. We think he can get away with things like what he's doing. I know he's a YouTuber and he's trying to just make a big like scene, I suppose. You know what I mean? To almost draw Connor's attention and draw him into a fight. But like, it's just, I don't think that's gonna, the way he's going about it is not gonna work. You know what I mean? He would have been better off reaching out to Connor's agent saying, listen, there's 50 million here on the table. Do you want to do something exciting? Blah, 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 blah. I think Connor's team would have jumped at that a lot quicker than him disrespecting Connor and disrespecting the missus, because at the end of the day, Connor would be like, I'm not fucking feeding into that. You know what I mean? So I just think he went about it the wrong way, and the way he disrespected the flag, I just don't like him. He's just a little muppet. He seems like a little mammy's boy. You know what I mean? I just don't like people like him.
He's fighting Ben Askren. I think he'll probably knock out Ben Askren because Ben Askren's boxing's terrible. You'd
Yeah.
fight him, wouldn't you? Even though he's a bit bigger, you'd school him.
I couldn't care less if he's bigger or not. I used to spar my dad. My dad's like 6'2", and I used to spar him when I was 15. You know what I mean? I couldn't care less the size of pounds and all that. That's what I was saying about the lightweight. I was like, I don't care what weight I go up to and all that stuff doesn't bother me. I used to spar my dad literally at 15. I remember getting hit on the guard at times because my dad was a decent boxer, like, and he could bang. So I remember getting hit at times and like knocking me completely off balance because he was trying to hit me so hard because I was pinging the head off him at times. You know what I mean? So I couldn't care less. Speed and boxing brain beats size all day long. Like David versus Goliath, I'd batter him, I'd school him.
Yeah,
Easy work.
You would take him to school. Anyway, let's go back to the world title scene. You want to fight Cole Frampton. I think that's a great domestic fight. But he's got a world title fight against Jamel Herring this month, actually, at the end of this month. And how do you think it goes down?
I don't know. Do you know what? I think it's actually a big ask for Carl. I think a lot of people are jumping at, Carl win this. I don't necessarily think it's going to be as easy as what people are trying to make out to be. Carl is a good fighter, but he's a lot smaller. Physically wise, I think it's a very hard fight, just physically wise, because Jamel Herring is a very big man compared to Carl. Not compared to most super featherweights, but Carl, I have to remember, was boxing as was a super bantamweight or something. He won his first world title and stuff. So like he's coming up super bantam, the flyweight, the bleeding, so the featherweight, the super feather. Like it's not that easy just to jump up weight divisions, you know. And Jamel Herring is a very, very big super featherweight. So I just don't know. Like at Carl's age, I don't know if he still has that. He definitely has the experience, but I don't know if he has that hunger and drive that I don't know that is maybe needed. I think if he wins the fight, it's going to be a close fight. I don't think he wins a handy. I genuinely don't believe that he wins the fight handy because he used to always he's a typical kind of counter puncher almost, Carl is. So he half makes people miss and then makes them pay. But because Jamel Herring is so long compared to Carl, that even if he makes him miss, he can make him pay. But Jamel Herring keeps him on the outside, and I think it'd be a hard night for Carl, to be honest. So if Carl wins, of course I'd love the Carl Frampton fight. But even if he loses, I'd still love the Carl Frampton fight because I'd love to share the ring with Carl just for the simple fact that he's such a well-known fighter in Ireland. He's such a big fan base that I think if I beat him, I then will gain a lot of those fans. And I just love to share the ring with him because I remember watching Carl when I was a kid, and I said it in the quick fight, like when your idols become your rivals, you know you're doing something good. You know, and I just truly believe that. And I believe like Carl was definitely one of my idols of Irish boxing growing up, you know. So I just love to share the ring with him full stop. But there's many more world champions that I'd love to share the ring with, not just Carl and Jamel Herring. Like Jamel Herring is not the best world champion out there. And to be honest, like I want to test myself against the best. I don't necessarily just want to beat people. That's why I was excited about the Farmer fight, because he was like, people were comparing him to bleeding the amazing fighters, and I was thinking, this fella ain't that amazing. He's a good fighter, but like I have exposed him to then Jojo Diaz beat him, and I text Jojo Diaz because I looked at that fight and I was thinking, he just done exactly my game plan, but he just done it better than what I done because I rushed my game plan. And I believe it or not, what's his name, Jojo Diaz, and was like, you got that game plan for me. Don't say you didn't. I know for a fucking fact you did. You watched my fight. And he was saying 100% I did. He says, I watched your fight against him the morning of the fight because I knew that was what you done was the way to beat him. He says, but I knew when you got that cut, you rushed it and you didn't execute it. And that was all down to experience. But Jojo Diaz said that to me himself personally. He watched that fight the morning he fought Farmer. He knew that was the way to beat him. And I knew it was too. I just couldn't execute it. I didn't have enough experience at the time, but let me tell you something. I have enough experience now, and I'm ready to take on those big names and the big opportunities now. I really am.
You have improved a lot since the Tevin Farmer fight as well. In Jojo Diaz, every time he fights with he's got the world title now. Every time he fights, he just gives you a cut of his purse now.
That's what I think as well. I'd agree. I'll take it, no problem.
Well, if you eventually do fight Cole Frampton, you'll have to leave the nice weather of Spain and go back to Ireland where it might be raining again, though.
Yeah, who cares, mate? Anything is worth that. You know what I mean? Anything is worth that. But I'm just hoping that there's crowds back, because that's one for the crowds. You know what I mean? Like a Dublin versus Belfast type of scenery in a massive, massive stadium. I just think because I'm such a big ticket seller in Ireland, in like the south of Ireland, and he's such a big ticket seller in Belfast and the north of Ireland, that it would just bring the whole country together. It'd just be, number one, it'd be the first time two Irish men have ever fought for a world title if we get it on for the world title. But regardless of even if it's for a world title or not, it'd be just a fantastic event, I think, in total, because Carl can sell a fight and so can I. I just think it'd be a good night, you know what I mean? It'd be fun.
That'd be a great night. That's a fight you can't have without fans. You have to have fans for that. I'll make sure
For
I
sure.
tickets. All right, so Jono,
Yes, my man.
thank you so much for your time, man. I really appreciate it. And where can people find you on social media at?
Jono _ KK _ Carroll. KK is for the King Kong. And on Twitter, it's just Jono _ Carroll. And I think it's the same on Facebook. It's just Jono Carroll. That's all, my man. Thank you. And if you don't follow me, shit, get the following me. Jono _ KK _ Carroll on Instagram.
All right, thank you very much for your time, Jono.
My pleasure, my brother, always. Thank you for having me.